Okay, so I want to tell a little story about this girl I used to know. Her name was Lori. Lori Theodoropoulos. Yes, that was her real last name, like 7 or 8 fucking syllables. Theodoropoulou. I don't even fucking. Very long. Uh, this was a girl that I went to summer camp with when I was at Round Lake Camp. And she was basically the first girlfriend I ever had. And the last one I would ever expect, too. Some of us know what I'm talking about right now, where you have that girl who you just fucking dream of, right? She's all you want. Every time you look at her, you think she's like the most beautiful thing you ever seen. All you want is for her to like be your girlfriend, whatever, but you never think it's really gonna happen. So you just keep dreaming. Well, I dreamed of Lori for about 2 years. So I went to Round Lake for 4 years. I first met her in 1997, which would have been my second summer there. And like I said, it was just love at first sight. I mean, her body, her face, everything about her was beautiful to me. And I had talked to her a whole lot, just here and there. Nothing much. And again, for that summer 97, the next summer 98, I was just like, wow, I just wish I could get a chance with Lori. And then I go back the next year in the summer of 99, still dreaming. And this time we actually start talking a little bit more, which of course makes you think you might have sort of got a chance. But, first couple of weeks go by. I was what you call a 4 weeker, right? The campers that stay at camp for 4 weeks during the summer. And they also had, well, they had 3 weekers, 4 weekers, and 7 weekers. I was always a 4 weeker. I like camp. I really enjoyed my experiences at Round Lake, but I couldn't stay there for 7 weeks. It was too much. And I don't think my parents wanted to pay for it because they were also sending my brother to camp. And we had money, but not that much money. But Lori was a 7 weeker. So about 3 weeks in, still like nothing's going on. But at least we're talking a little bit more, giving me hope. Now, unfortunately, Lori happened to be what you would call like the camp slut. I'm not a slut like she's having sex with guys. I mean, we're 15 years old at camp. You can't exactly like fuck people. I mean, where you would even do that and get away with it. But in terms of just saying, oh, you're my boyfriend. Oh, you're my boyfriend. Hey, you want to go out with me? Blah, I got another boyfriend. This girl dated like half the guys in camp. And she even dated like 2 or 3 other guys in my own bunk, right? My bunk mates. So I got to see this up close. Like, god damn it. And some of the guys she would go out with really pissed me off because like, I'm better than that guy. She's going out with him and not me. Like, what does he have that I don't? Like this dork named Daniel Diamond. Like, are you fucking kidding me? No. And then the night before this happens that I'm about to tell you about, she starts going out with this guy, Nick, right? Now, at this point, me and Lori are pretty close. We're talking every day, we're hanging out, but still nothing more. Now she's going out with Nick, who's another fucking dorky loser. And like, this isn't fair. Like, I'm seeing her every day, but she's going out with all these other guys. What the fuck? So, night after she makes Nick her most current boyfriend, we have a movie night, right? They'd have these like every week when we were at camp, every week or so. In this big ass like rec hall that we had at the camp. The large rec hall, they called it. And I even remember the name of the movie they were playing that night. It's called Sneakers. I still have no idea what that movie was even about. As you'll see why. But The craziest thing that ever happened to me in my life, basically, to that point, happens now. I'm walking into the rec hall to go sit down and watch the movie. And as I'm thinking, man, it would be really nice to sit with Lori. Oh, I wish I could sit with her for this movie. Oh, and at that exact fucking moment, I hear a voice call out, "Hey, David! Hey, come sit with me." And I went, "What?" It was Lori calling me over. Like, no fucking way. We had been, getting kind of cool lately, like I said. But sitting and watching a movie, like basically being like her movie date, at the same second I'm thinking of her, no fucking way. This can't be happening. But I'm like, all right, we're gonna sit together, whatever. It's cool. It's a step in the right direction. Never imagined anything more. So I sit down with her, the movie starts playing, and we start getting a little closer and a little closer. And then these two kids, their names Karen and Ryan, they're like 10 feet away from us or whatever, 15 feet. They're like right over there. And they start making out with each other. And I'm watching that thinking, oh, that would be amazing. I'm 15 and I never kissed a girl yet. And I was like depressed and embarrassed about it. I didn't want to admit it to anyone. Like, come on, like, everyone's already getting laid, and everybody is not. Most people are not having sex at 15. Not guys. But, yeah. But all I wanted to do was kiss a girl. And then all of a sudden, Lori looks at Karen and Ryan and looks back at me and goes, "Hey, you want to do what they're doing?" I'm like, no way. This girl who I'd been dreaming of for 3 years wanna make out with me? And I'm like, hell yeah. And we proceed to make out for the next like fucking hour until this movie was over. Like I said, I still, 20 years later, this is 99, I still don't know what the fuck Sneakers was about. And actually, before she made out with me, she'd ask me out. I forgot to say that. So she was already my girlfriend. And then we made out. And it was just like the greatest day of my fucking life. It was like winning the lottery or having your first child. Oh, I got Lori. And even back then, I wasn't that naive. I knew she was kind of like a slut and a flirt. And she'd probably date me for 3 days and dump me. Well, thank God for my sake, I was going home in 3 days. And that was it, so she probably wouldn't have time. And then, oh, get a load of this. Right when the movie's ending, they're putting the lights on, people are putting their shoes on, getting ready to leave. And Nick walks up to us, right? Like, oh, let me go see my new girlfriend. And then Lori looks at him, what a fucking bitch, right? She looks at him and goes, yeah, sorry, I'm dumping you. This is my new boyfriend. Bye. And this kid looked like he wanted to fucking like slit his wrist or something. He looked so depressed. I don't know if that was like his first girlfriend or whatever. He thought he was really getting something. And I didn't say anything because I don't want to look like an asshole. But I'm thinking like, ha, sucks for you, Nick. See how you like it. So, yeah, we were only together for like 3 days. But man, what a 3 days. The next night, we took our annual bowling trip to this bowling alley in Hancock, New York. It's like an hour or so ride from Round Lake Camp. And of course, Lori's my date. And we spent the whole night just all over each other, right? Making out, hugging, like cuddling. When it came time to take a break and eat, get some food from the concession stand. And we would each take a drink. And when we would finish sipping on a straw, we'd kiss. And I'm like feeding her food in her mouth. And this guy, Wes, that was in my bunk, right? Wes Boys, who deserves his own separate story for another day. And Wes is like, hey, bro, yo, put your arms around her, bro. And I'm like, yeah, good idea. So I like wrap my arms around her. And like the sexy way or something I did it made even Wes be like, God damn, bro. You guys are, wow. And yeah, it was an incredible night. And then I thought it couldn't get any better, but no, it got better. Because I'd never had a girl touch me before either, right? So we're on the bus going back to Round Lake, and all of a sudden, she reaches her hand down and starts like rubbing my dick, right? Now, unfortunately, it was only over the pants. I wasn't that lucky, and we were on a bus with other kids. But she starts rubbing her hand, and she's like playing with it with her fingers and like basically giving me a hand job through my pants. And at that age, and you're a virgin, you never really had a girl, you're just like, oh, oh my God, she's touching me. Oh my God, whoa. And it's just like, wow. And she's just doing it harder and faster and harder and faster. And damn, I, I don't know if I came or not, but I might have, at least a little bit, pre-cum and shit. And we get off the bus, we walk back to the bunks, kiss goodnight, and and the next day, and unfortunately, Lori had a lot of issues. This particular camp, Round Lake, it wasn't exclusively for special ed kids, but a lot of the kids there were either special ed, they had at least some borderline disabilities, ADD, they had a couple of autistic kids, Asperger's, whatever. A lot of kids that couldn't really fit in at a normal camp. Like, this one time, we're sitting in the lunchroom, right? And we're eating in the dining room. And I'm saying something about baseball, and I'm talking about different baseball pitches. And then I start talking about a screwball. And my counselor is standing right there, and he overhears this. He doesn't know what the fuck a screwball is. They don't play baseball in Australia. That's where all these counselors were from. And he's like, hey, mate, we got 250 bloody screwballs here. All of you are fucking screwballs, mate. And I'm like, wow. Basically, he was right. Like I said, most of us. Lori, unfortunately, had a severe case of Tourette's, which I guess was kind of under control when she was younger. But as she got older, it got a lot worse. And I didn't even know she had it at the time because I didn't know anything about Tourette's. I didn't know what to look for. And it wasn't like out loud, it was kind of subtle. She'd do this thing where she would like swallow, like in her throat. She'd be like, um, um. And she had to point it out to me, like I said. I'm like, oh shit. And then I started noticing it. Oh, that sucks. She was a really nice girl back then, but she just had some issues, emotional issues, all this shit. I think she had a lot of problems at home. Her father was like an ex-con that was in prison. And, he'd write her letters from prison that she would tell me about. And I'm like, God damn, man. My parents have never had a fucking parking ticket in their lives. Can't imagine my dad being in prison. And I remember this time, this bitch in her bunk named Tanya called her a Tourette girl. And she like ran into the woods like crying and holy shit. Maybe in a way it was be careful what you wish for. And I remember the last night, last of the 3 nights, we had this dance, right? Like a camp dance to wish all the 4-weekers well when they went home for the year. And of course, she's my date, but it was already starting to kind of fall apart. I think if I was there for a couple of more days, she would have dumped me too, like I said. And I'm trying to dance with her, and it was a combination of, I guess it was already starting to break up again, and I was just a terrible dancer to the point where I'd embarrass my date. And she keeps trying to like dance away from me and go somewhere else. And it was just annoying me. I'm like, yes, I understand this. It's just a little camp fling, whatever, and I can't dance. But come on, give me a few dances before I go home. It would mean something to me. And, she kind of was a bitch about it. And finally, she's like, all right, I may never see you again. I have had a good few days with you, whatever. So they put this slow R&B song on, and we did this nice romantic slow dance, and I kissed her, and it was really nice. It was really nice of her to do. And then the next day, we get all our bags, pack, go out to the buses, say goodbye to everybody. And I was really, really scared that at the last moment she'd show up with another boyfriend and give me the same treatment as guys like Nick got. But she decided to spare me the indignation. And, she walks me all the way to the bus and she gives me a hug and a kiss goodbye. And I was hoping to stay in touch. And she gave me her home address, and she was from South Jersey, Marlton, New Jersey, kind of close to Camden. And this was back when we still wrote letters. The internet did exist, but yeah. She gave me her address. We wrote each other back and forth a couple times. And for some reason, we just stopped writing. I don't know why. Well, I wouldn't realize it for a long time. 'Cause things always happen for a reason. Sometimes you don't know in the moment, but you find out the reason later. Oh, boy, did I ever. So for the next 11 years almost, right? This is 99. So 12 years almost, until 2011, I'm just dreaming of some kind of reunion, right? All I wanted was to just see her or talk to her again one more time. And I hadn't spoken to her at all. I had no idea where she was, how she was doing, if the Tourette's or anything else improved. Not a clue. But I just had that hope. And I could never find her on social media. I tried looking her up on MySpace and Facebook. No luck. Then finally, it's early 2011. I'm almost out of the army. And one day I go on Facebook and I type in Lori Theodoropoulos again. And I see it come up. And I said, holy shit. She's online. Nice. And I go and I message Lori. And then I get a response a few hours later. And it's this older woman. And I was like, yeah, who is this? Because this woman's 50 years old. I didn't get it. I was really confused. There are two Lori Theodoropoulos in Marlton, New Jersey. Fucking odds of that. I don't know if there's two of them in the whole U.S. She goes, no, this isn't Lori. This is her mother. You have the same name? I never met anyone with the same name as their mom. Apparently that does happen. Yeah, both Lori Theodoropoulos. And then she goes, oh, if you want to talk to Lori, I could give you her phone number. And I swear to God, I'm not making this up. She goes, she's really lonely. She doesn't really have any friends, blah, blah, blah. Basically, her life sucks and it's shit. And she could use anyone, any friend she could get. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if her own mother is saying this to a stranger online, her life must be awful. Really awful. No one's mother would say that to a stranger. Holy shit. So I get her phone number, I call her up, and all of my dreams of meeting her again, when I said be careful what you wish for, well, this time is be really fucking careful. Because not only was her life not better, oh no, it's 5 or 10 times worse than it was in 1999. I don't know exactly what happened to her over the years. There was drugs, alcohol, abuse, mental illness, but she was fucked. I mean, she was just gone, right? She was this angry, raging, basically a psychotic mess. And we talk 2, 3, 4 times, probably for an hour to 2 hours each. And it wasn't even a conversation. It was more her ranting, screaming into the phone about how horrible her life was. She didn't have a job. She didn't have any friends. She didn't have a boyfriend. She just stayed in her apartment that her parents paid for all day and night. Basically never left. Maybe to get food or something, but I think even her mother brought her food. her mother just loved her to death and did everything for her. She'd probably be dead. Not for her. And she'd tell me how she was drunk all the time, or she did drugs, and she'd get like blackout drunk, wake up on a street corner in Camden at 3 o'clock in the morning. No idea how she got there. And it was just awful. I'd try to speak. She'd just yell over me. I don't think she even meant it. She was that gone and fucked up. I didn't hold it against her or get angry. But even given that, at a certain point, you can't take it anymore. Especially when this isn't a close friend, a family member, a wife. This is someone I dated for 3 days when I was 15. And after those 3 or 4 calls, yeah, I gave up and wished her the best. Hope she got better. Which I found out a few years later. She went to therapy. She dealt with the Tourette's. And she improved like tenfold. I talked to her again in 2015. She got a little better. Then a few years later, again, she improved some more. And from what I could see today, she's about as good as she's going to get. She's come a long, long way. And I'm really, really happy for her. Because, again, she was just fucked as you could possibly be. Just in a very, very dark, bad place. And, the first few times I talked to her, she didn't even remember who I was. Literally, I had to explain to her who I was. How depressing is that? Not only is she in this condition, but she don't even fucking remember me, bro. She's like, who are you? David Ivy? Who? And she kind of remembered when I explained, but she's like, it's all hazy. And then in 2015, I told her she actually meant a lot to me, despite knowing each other dating for a couple of days. And she was still kind of rude and threw it back in my face. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, I saved your life. I told her that. She literally did. I wanted to fucking kill myself at the time. I was as close as I ever got. And she came along and boom, saved my life. I didn't think about suicide again for a long time. And yeah, I still owe her to this day. She will always have a special place in my heart. But she's like, what the fuck? You mean you fucking saved my life? That's fucking stupid. Like, what? If she even remembered it at all. And I'm like, fucking bitch. Like, seriously? This is how you treat me? And then, fast forward to 2017 now. I decided to try again. And like I said, she got a little better. And she was also less rude now. Basically to the point where she had basic common courtesy, same as any other person. And I told her the whole thing again, like, you meant everything to me back then. You still mean something to me now. You always will. And at this point, finally, she's like, "Aw, thank you. That's really nice. I still don't remember all of it, but that's really sweet of you to say. I'm glad I mean that much to somebody. Like, that makes me feel good." And I haven't spoken to her since 2017. I haven't tried again to talk to her. But yeah, I was really, really glad, if that's the last time we ever speak, that that's the way it ended. Because now, obviously, I wish we could have gotten back together and at least been friends. I know why we weren't friends in middle school and high school, in the rest of high school, because she was so fucked, and I was pretty fucked in the head in high school too. It would have been the worst powder keg ever. Those two people who aren't violent, they're not that crazy, but they get together and commit like a triple homicide. Who knows? It could have been something like that. She calls me up from Camden crying at 3 a.m. My dumbass would have driven all the way to New Jersey to go rescue her. Maybe got myself shot. Yeah, things happen for a reason. But, yeah. I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get the reunion I wanted. But again, at least the last time we spoke was pleasant, and it was about as good as I could have hoped for at that point. And like always, I wish her the best for the rest of her life if I never see her or speak to her again. And yeah, that was it. But I just wanted to tell you that story. I know it was really, really long, but Obviously, it all meant a lot to me, had a lot to get out, and I hope y'all are still listening and you got something out of this too. But that was the story of Lori, the great Lori Theodoropoulos. What a girl. What a fucking girl.